Every year at the beginning of March, you might hear a lot about the convening of China's so-called two sessions, or Lianghui. It's a high-profile event, not only for China, but it also makes international headlines. There are two meetings taking place concurrently in Beijing. One is the National People's Congress, which is the highest legislative body in the nation, and the other is the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, which is an advisory organization that helps the government. In today's chat room, we're joined by Dr. Yu, a legislator of the Guangdong Provincial People's Congress and a data scientist. Dr. Yu, welcome to the chat room.
Thank you, Jerry.
As a Chinese person, why do you think the two sessions are important?
The two sessions, and it's also called Lianghui, are the most important conference of Chinese people. Leaders and experts and deputies are gathered in Beijing. Especially this year, it's very important because 2025 is the final year of our 14th five-year plan, right? And it is also a critical year for planning or for designing the next year's plan. You can think it's a roadmap for China's development. And the decisions of Lianghui, or the two sessions, will impact everyone living or working here in China. And also, I think it is important globally, the topics we discussed in two sessions will influence international trend.
They have global significance because they affect so many people.
True.
If they affect so many people in China, that's 20% of the world's population.
And also the second largest economy in the world.
How do suggestions raised by People's Congress deputies affect national policies?
My role is threefold: listen, propose, and act. Last year, I spent a couple of months walk through into the factories and try to find their real challenges. We found that a lot of small manufacturing factories struggling with the shortage of labels and the outdated technology. I proposed the AI-powered manufacturing proposal. Later, we submit this proposal to the Deputy Congress, and we discussed together, and we made a decision. For those small factories, the government will pay part of the cost.
So as a data scientist, you've utilized your skills and your expertise to help factories that would never ever think about doing this. So is that going to be rolled out on a national basis?
First, we did the pilot test in Dongguan for a couple of factories. Then the application or the solution will be scaled to part of the solution of Guangdong province. Then now in this year's two session, you can see it's a part of the national decision of the smart manufacturing. So step by step, you can see an idea or a worries about the factories will be raised and discussed and pilot tested, then changed to the policy of nationwide.
So that by the time it comes to a national decision in March, maybe next year or the year after that, this will have been trialed in 100 different places.
True.
So what we've learned here today is that a small germ of an idea in a city in the Greater Bay Area could become something that is very important for the entire nation. And certainly in terms of society, it could become important for the entire world. The concept of China's whole process, people's democracy, gains international attention. But how do you think this compares to Western-style democracy?
I have been stayed in the United States for more than 10 years.
Right.
Western democracy, just like a quick vote. We choose a leader and wait a couple of years for a wrong or correct results. But in China, here, the Chinese democracy. It's more like a long race. A lot of people work together to discuss, to make a plan, to make the plan better and better every day. Compared to Western, it's more efficient and more scientific.
I grew up in the UK and I lived in Australia. I've lived in 2 Western democracies. I've never met a member of parliament doing his or her job. They're elected not really through what they've done in the past or what skills they bring to it, but how much money they can put into their campaign. Whereas in China, it seems to me that you get elected because of the things you have done, and then people know that you are capable of doing more for them or for the benefit of the community. And there's, I can't see an equivalence in the UK or in Australia, and definitely not in America. So some people in the West criticize China's system and say it gives you no choice and it's a rubber stamp parliament. What do you say to them?
I would say, from my own experience, I can use my work and my proposal, how my proposal comes from. Global trends show an increase in anxiety patients, around 30% increase. So the trend in China, the psychological disorder of the young kiddo, aligning with the global trends. So one of my suggestions this year is considering or designing a platform to gather and analyze the psychological and the physical data of the young person, especially for the elementary school kids and the middle school kids. This system will provide individualized exercise prescription that will help young people to get better. It's raised from the parents' worries, from the voice from the president, from the parents. We have several levels of deputies. Town has their deputy, the city has, the province has, and the nationwide, the country has. Every deputy is a very good channel to connect people with the whole country. People can raise their proposals and talk with the deputies directly. Step by step, a lot of people work together to make this solution better and facing the real challenge in the different sectors. People always have some kind of bias, right? But if we can speak out the real or the true story of China, perhaps the bias will be relieved.
China doesn't defend itself. It doesn't stand up for itself often enough. And I think the truth is China doesn't need to, because the people who know already know, and the people who don't want to know will never know.
So, truth is truth.
Yes, you can't hide the truth.